Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. Today we're going to be talking about doing an employee review system in SharePoint, and we're going to look at a way you can set this up easily in your SharePoint environment. All right, so let's begin. My name is Will Cooper. I am a SharePoint developer. I develop solutions for customers in all kinds of different SharePoint environments. I've been a Microsoft developer for the last 20 years. I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Outside of my consulting work, I do a YouTube channel, which is called SharePoint Smart. You can find that if you go into YouTube and search for SharePoint Smart. Just put that in quotes with the space, you'll see my channel. Those are free SharePoint learning videos. I put out videos every week. Our organization is Infowise, and our goals as a business are about making it simple, making it easy, and we want to always keep improving. So we really strive for those goals in terms of what we do here at Infowise. About Ultimate Forms. This is a platform available to put in your SharePoint environment. This allows you a full set of solution tools, 100% in your SharePoint interface with no coding or programming necessary at all. It's all about easy, about being able to do things easily. We're going to do a drawing for a shirt at the end. So if you stick around, that is for people living in the United States only, and that's because of postage considerations, that type of thing. So stick around for that. Just some ground rules. We are wanting your questions and feedback, but that needs to come through our chat interface. Just use the questions tool and go to webinar, and we'll try to get to your questions as soon as we can. So just put them in there, and they will get answered. If we start to run out of time on that, we'll be able to work with you towards the end. So please do that. We are recording our session, and this will be posted on YouTube later today. Our product's available both in the cloud and for on-premise SharePoint. So everything I do show you today, you can do all these same types of things regardless of what type of SharePoint environment you're working with. This picture, for me, really encapsulates what Ultimate Forms brings to the table. Out-of-the-box SharePoint is missing a lot of things that you likely want to do in SharePoint. And so our tools really are about giving you the capabilities to get that done. So out-of-the-box SharePoint really isn't enough, or for that matter, out-of-the-box Microsoft 365 tools. Adding these tools to your environment allows you to do just about anything that you want to do. So this is kind of how I picture our tools. It really provides lots and lots of different capabilities. So it is a full comprehensive tool set, a Swiss Army knife, if you will. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's get into the topic of today's presentation. We're talking about our key concepts for employee review, also referred to as performance review, performance management, that type of thing. What we want to accomplish as an organization, coming from the perspective of the management, we want to document and encourage employee development. Along with this, we really want transparency and accountability for all members of the organization. So we really want to get that out there and show the values of the organization in terms of learning and growth for all employees. And that's the last point there, all for one, one for all. We really want consistency and continuity in the sense that we want to be able to do this for all members of the organization. Okay, and this is the importance of doing reviews and why it needs to be emphasized. We want to foster a culture of progress for all employees. And in so doing, this really leads to the success of teams as team members are working together to progress and develop and ultimately that leads to the best situation for your organization as it wants to grow and become more efficient and be a leader amongst other organizations. Some key goals for the employee review system: we want to have automatic steps. We want to make sure we do automation. We want it to be easy to enter review information. We want it easy to understand. We don't want to have anything complicated about this at all. We want to have some nice, simple dashboards that all of the employees can look at to see progress and where we are in the review process. And we want to have it broken out into nice, simple to understand steps, step-by-step process. Requirements for the system: we certainly need to incorporate email notifications. Those should be automatically generated. We want personalized dashboards where the information is specific to the person accessing it. We want to see progress indicators that help us see where we are in the process, and at a high level, see which employees need to have their reviews done, which are complete, and so on. We want to make sure we have PDF print template capability. When this process is done, we want to have a nice PDF printout for documentation so that we can be very professional and organized in terms of going through this process. And then we need to account for the different roles in the process. We have our employees and managers that work together to get the review done. All right, so enough of my boring PowerPoint slides. We're going to jump right into SharePoint. And here I am in SharePoint Online. And this is the dashboard for my employee review system. This page is plain vanilla modern page in SharePoint. I've got some tiles to jump me into some of my key views. We're first going to go through this from a user perspective. I'm going to show you how this setup works, and I'm then going to go back behind the curtains and show you how this is configured and how you can customize this system to do exactly what you want. Now, on the bottom of this, we have these tiles that jump us the different stages and that type of thing. So first of all, let's just jump right in and we'll start a review. One thing I'll try to emphasize throughout this is ease of use. So first thing is scheduling employees for review. We want that to be as simple as possible. So when I create a new review record, it's automatically pre-populating with my name, or I can change that if I want to. And then I'm going to put myself in for manager just because this makes some email notifications and things like that. I don't want to bug my coworkers. And then notice it's auto-populating the year, and it's actually auto-populating the due date. Notice we've got July 17, which is exactly 30 days from today. So these values can be overridden, but ease of use is the key thing. So it's auto-filling in values for me. And I've got a nice title bar, which tells me which employee review this is. Will Cooper 2021 review. It tells me what the status is. I'm an employee review. All easy to understand concepts. Okay, so that's the only thing that needs to happen for scheduling. So as a manager of this, say as a member of HR staff, all that you do is simply just create a record for each of the employees. So that's easy to do. This bottom record is the one that I just created. And on this dashboard, you can see some of those key indicators. We've got a progress bar, and in this presentation, what you'll see is there's 5 different statuses, and as those change, the progress bar will change according to that. So the review starts in an employee review status by default, meaning the employee is working on filling out information. Once they're done, they're going to submit it for review by their manager. At that point, it's in manager review. The manager, when they're ready, will schedule a meeting to have with their employee. This status is meeting scheduled. Once they've done that, they'll review notes, and at that point, the meeting can be set complete. And the final step is to set it as finalized. So let's go back into the form, and I'm going to put on my employee hat. And just to speed things up, I'm copying and pasting some dummy text from Word, just so I'm not boring you typing things. Notice I've also got an attachments thing here. Now it gives instructions in the form. This is something that you'll be able to edit, put in there, and that's really about ease of use, telling them exactly what they need to do. So it tells the employee, complete all the information and accomplishment, goals, and training, then click Employee Submit. Now, obviously, when I do validation checking, notice I just try to click Employee Submit and it says, no, you're not done yet. And I see some marks on here. So that's part of this system. Let's say technology gains. I'm just kind of making some stuff up here. But this is what the employee is going to fill out. And naturally, you can customize this to include whichever fields you'd like to do for your organization. Training, management, accomplishment. These are things I did throughout the year, and I'm documenting that as an employee to review with my manager. Let's say help desk improvements. Okay, so these are my accomplishments. That's the first section I fill out. What did I get done? What key things did I accomplish as an employee throughout the year? All right, so that's looking back, and then we are looking forward. What are my goals upcoming? Where am I trying to go? Okay, so let's say learning, course improvements. I'm kind of making some stuff up, but you could fill these in. These are key goals that we want the employee to put in. Naturally, we can include text or restructure these for whatever suits your organization. Say help manuals, documentation, peer mentoring. Okay, I'm just making up some things. This is what I'm filling out as the employee. So I'm required to put in both accomplishments and goals. And then there's a training section. So also what we want to think about when we're doing reviews is what kind of training has been going on, which training did I get completed, and then also what training do I have planned. So yeah, I'm just going to paste some stuff in here in the interest of time so you guys can see more stuff. I'm pasting it in here. Okay, so you fill out all these long text fields, and then as an employee, once I'm done with all that, I've done everything I've been asked to do to get ready for my review meeting, then I can do Employee Submit. Okay, so that's the first step in the process. And what you'll notice here, this employee review is going to change. Notice that it switched over to manager review. We've got an indicator here, the till due, that's telling me the due date. And the due date is going to automatically update according to different steps in the process. Okay, so once they submit it, we want the manager to have 2 weeks. That happened automatically. We did that through some custom action, which I set. And at this point, it's up to the manager to review. Also, what's happening is we have automatic email notifications. So as the manager, they just got an email. Okay, I put my name in for manager, so that's why it looks a little funny, but it says hello and the manager's name. Your employee has submitted the review. Please look over the information. They're going to click on it, and it's going to take them directly to the form. So the email notifications is a key part of that. Okay, what I want you to notice is the interface is different now that I go into the next step. And this is all part of what you can configure really easily. Remember that there was a green button over here, some instructions for the employee. Well, now our status has changed. Notice the status bar, it says Status Manager Review. And it instructs the manager what to do. It says, hey, manager, review the employee information. Then when you're ready, change the status, update to meeting scheduled. So it tells the manager exactly what they're supposed to do. So the manager has access to that field. Notice also we've got a date timestamp on the bottom of this, and it tells us the history of what's happened, not just the snapshot of where we are currently, but when did the employee submit it? When did the manager do it? That's important because we want to do things like watch out for delays or lagging or see what's going on if something's not getting done, that type of thing. So the manager goes in here and they're required to schedule that meeting. So if I'm a bad manager, I'm saying I scheduled it, even though I didn't fill out that field. And if I hit save, whoop, popped me, just like the employee. So those validation checks are really important. Okay, so I'm going to schedule this for July 1st. And then in the meeting notes, that's for when we actually meet. Right now, I just need to schedule a meeting. So I've checked the employee's calendar. I'm scheduling a meeting. We're going to meet on July 1st at 10 a.m. Okay, now I've done what I'm supposed to do, and I can set it for a meeting scheduled. Okay, so just like the first step, we're going down the track. The train's moving down the tracks, and there it goes. Now we've got meeting scheduled. We're on to the next step. Notice all this. Also, the progress bars can update as these steps takes place. We have these nice bars to show us, how far along are we in the process. We're on step 3, and that's why you see it at 60%. And then the till do will continuously update according to what's happened. So we've got our meeting scheduled for July 1st. Okay, so I'm going to sit down with my employee. We're going to go over the goals and training and go through all those details and do what we need to do to get the review set. Okay, and then I'm going to record some notes about what we talked about in the meeting on that date and upcoming plans, that type of thing. And then the meeting's over, and my next step as the manager, notice the note changed. Again, manager, when you met your employee, you've recorded your meeting notes, change the status update to meeting complete. Okay, also notice the date timestamps have updated. We know when the employee submitted this, we know when the manager scheduled it, and now we're getting ready to know when the meeting was completed. Okay, so I'm going to say meeting complete. Okay, that's saving. And while we're waiting for that, I also should note when the manager scheduled the meeting, automatically send an email notification to the employee that says, hey, your review meeting is scheduled for June 25th, et cetera. So those automatic email notifications are really important part of the process. Okay, status updated. Now we've got meeting complete. The only thing that needs to do is finalize. So, this could be another part of the management, could be HR or something like that. But that basically, closes out the process, and we say that we don't need any further updates or modifications to this. So there is just one last step that we want to do. Hopefully you agree this is a simple, easy to understand process, and we've got information in our form, telling us exactly what to do. So the last step is finalize. We're done. We've done all the steps. This employee's reviewed. We did all of the things and save. Okay, and that'll give us the checkered flag. We're finalized and everything. Okay, so we're waiting for that to update. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to show you the PDF output. You can have a PDF print template, which you control. It's really easy to use. This is a custom functionality that's part of Ultimate Forms, along with other things that we're doing. And so we can look at this. I may just want to look at this 6 months from now, or we're looking at the previous year and that type of thing. And we're going to see a nice detailed summary of that. Okay, let's look at the one that's got more content in it. There it is. Okay, so you can see how this could be important for your record keeping. And all I have to do is click on this little PDF button, and it will produce a file and save it down locally to my desktop. Just like that. I'll open up that PDF just to demonstrate to you. There's the PDF, came right out of SharePoint. So really nice capability and a key part of the system. Okay, so we've got these dashboards, these indicators for how many days until the next step in the process is really important. We can see the meeting dates, and we can see nice green progress bars that show where we are in the process. Remember at the beginning, I showed that we've got tiles set up. These filter views are important. So if I want to look at just my review, that's important, or by manager. Now, permissions are important, security. And certainly as a part of this system, what you will do is have a custom action that you can configure through Ultimate Forms to make these reviews only accessible and viewable by the appropriate people, so that we can keep some of that private and not having certain employees be nosy and looking around at other people's reviews. So that's definitely a part of the system as well. So here's the different stages, and I can, go and click on one of these and just see the reviews that are in that stage. Okay, so really easy to work with, easy to understand. Everything I've shown about this process is easy, both from the setup standpoint and from a user standpoint as well. Okay, now I want to go into how our tools work and how those are used to create some of the functionality and forms and things that you saw to create this solution. The first and most important thing is our form designer tool. This is a drag and drop style interface where you can just drag your SharePoint forms out, your SharePoint fields out of the form. You can reorder them easily. I just select an item, I can drag and drop, and I can do things like change the grid layout to do different numbers of columns. And it's all very fluid and dynamic and easy to configure. All of these things are just done through drop-down pickers. If I want to change that to a different icon, I just clicked on that like so. If I want to do something like change a background color, all I have to do is just pick a color swatch and hit save, and it just happens immediately in real time. So it's just very nice and pleasant to work with. It means that you can set up your forms to be user-friendly and look just exactly the way that you want. And actually nothing like this exists in SharePoint on the box. So those are all those form sections you were looking at. And then additional to that, you saw that we had some baked in instructions and things that change depending on where we are in the process. And so I was able to do things like put these instructions here, and I made a rule and I said, I want to show these instructions when the status is employee review. And I was able to do that just through simple drop-down picker, radio buttons, checkboxes, that type of thing. So just easy to work with. I don't have to be a SharePoint developer to be able to do these type of things. And then the tabbed setup is really important. In a review type thing, there's a lot of fields, a lot of content and information. We don't want to have that in a long scrolling form. Nobody wants to look at that. Instead, we want to break that into different sections. So this is done with our tabs control. You can break that up. And then in the top, notice I have that nice broad information about what this record is. And that was easy for me to do. All I had to do to set that up is refer to those columns. I have the title field and the status. And I just did this simple setup to show that nice dynamic header, which tells us exactly where we are in the process. Okay, so Form Designer, it's just fantastic. It really lets you do forms easily, and it's something critical, not only for this process, but any kind of forms that you might like to do in your SharePoint environment. Okay, so that's the first key aspect of our tools as it relates to the solution that I showed you. Another part of it is the business process, the different steps along the way. Recall that when I was doing things like clicking on the green button or updating that status, we had different things getting updated automatically. That's through our actions. It's a simple trigger system based on rules that you set up. You can define when things happen. I'll show you one example. For example, when they click the green button, it updates employee submit to yes. So I'd say based on that condition, I want the system to update the status to manager review. I want employee reviewed set to now. That was the dates timestamp tracking we saw on the bottom of the first tab. And then I want the due date to get updated. I want it to be pushed out to 2 weeks past the current date. So no code in here or anything. I just have these simple things and simple concepts like today plus 14. So that's the idea of action. So I set up rules for all those different triggers based on those different status changes and that type of thing. And then also when it's finalized, I automatically made the PDF produce. So even without having to go through the print menu, I made a rule and I said that when the status gets updated to finalized, go ahead and print that PDF document for me automatically. Just saving manual steps. Really nice, easy to work with. The indicators and status icons and things like that, that's just done through our interface where you can use our color choice field, and you've got all kinds of different icons and things that you can pick there. The progress indicator, I pointed that to a field that I had a value in based on the status, and then the indicator was very easy to set up. We had two. We had a tilde indicator that was just pointing to the due date. So I say the goal is the due date, and then I can configure what colors I want to appear, and you can configure how granular you want that. I like the day one because I don't like to see seconds ticking on the UI. It's a little busy for my taste. The progress indicator, it just takes the value where you say, okay, what's the low value? 0. What's the high value? 5. And it just fills up according to the value. So I'm looking at a column I made called Calc Progress. Then email notifications. Very similar to actions. It's based on simple trigger conditions and simple rules. And I simply say, in this case, when that status gets updated to manager review, I want it to go to the person who's in the manager field. I want it to copy the name of the employee in the employee field. And then I define what I want in the email. So we have content templates, and this is using a visual editor tool. I can format this to look however I want. I can do highlighting. I can make the text be whatever size I want. Very easy to configure. And then I can just insert field information. See how I put in the manager field, and that's how the email alert is set up. And it's just that simple. So I can create email notification roles for all the steps in this process very easily. Okay, so that's a little bit about our tools. One last one I'll show is the print capability, the PDF template. This also very easy to work with. We have two different modes. There's a simple and advanced mode. In many cases, simple is fine, and that's what I was using. I simply indicated some sections, and I indicated through drop-down picker which fields and in what order I wanted them to show in the print template. And that's about it. I did actually add a header on here, and I put the title and the summary. That was the part highlighted in blue, and that was about it. That's all I had to do for the output for the print template. All right, we are going to get to the shirt drawing here shortly. Before we do that, I want to talk about how you can further explore and look at what I'm doing. And I should mention, I'm going to update and upload this template to our area and install business solutions. When you install the trial, you're going to be able to find that under business solutions, then click on webinars. And you can see the one that I posted from last month, the employee onboarding system. You'll find the template of everything I presented today. You can download that, install it in your own environment, and do everything that I just showed you. In terms of getting access to our software and trying this out, we've tried to make that just as easy as we possibly can. You can go now and click on the Try Now for free. The very fastest thing you could do, if you click register now, we'll make a sandbox site for you in our environment. That takes about 2 minutes. More importantly, you want to install our trial into your own environment. And if you go in here and go under installation, this is our full product. It does everything that I showed you with no limitations other than that it's for 30 days. And that is the most important thing you could do in terms of trying out these tools. So I hope that you'll do that. You can just go through the Try Now for free, and it'll tell you the installation steps. And we've done everything we can to make it as painless and easy for you to do as possible. And in terms of learning how to use those tools, we've got all kinds of resources. First of all, in our tutorial section, you can find information which is geared just at folks like you who are just first looking at our product. So please look at those articles. In particular, there's one Kickstart training, which is a video which teaches you fundamentals about our product. Beyond that, we've got well more than 100 articles on all the different functions and capabilities of our product as you begin to learn more. We do offer formal training. If you'd like to have an instructor lead your organization, help you train up as you're getting started with the product, that is an additional option if you want to be a little more engaged and have someone to talk with, to ask questions and learn. That's under our training resources. And we have technical articles too. So lots of ways to help you ramp up and begin to use our product. If you have questions about a project or something specific with your organization that you want to do, what you can also do is request a demo from us. So if you come into our website, you can contact us, and that's also an option as well. We'll set up a web meeting with you, and we can talk with you one-on-one to learn more about what you want to do and help you along the way. Okay, I did promise to do a drawing for a shirt. We'll go ahead and do that right now. And what I'd like you guys to do is make one guess. As a reminder, this is for folks in US only. And I'm looking for a number from 1 to 100, and I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to make that guess. All right, you get about 10 seconds. Nobody's guessed my number yet. Okay, we've got a winner. It's Scott Wamsley. Scott, if you can send me an email, I need your address and I need your shirt size. You can send that to willc@infowisesolutions.com, willc@infowisesolutions.com. We'll get you taken care of. I'm going to go into the chat. I'm going to try to answer some questions. That does conclude our main presentation, and we're going to stop recording, but I will stay on to answer questions in chat. I hope that was informative. I hope it gave you some ideas about how to do a review system for employees in your SharePoint environment. If you have further questions about the presentation, how to get the template or anything like that, please feel free to contact us directly. You can also reach out to sales@infowisesolutions.com and we'll help you out. So we'll go ahead and stop the presentation. I'll stay on to answer questions. Thank you.